Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. On this show, we'll be discussing issues related to Ward 1, and the councilwoman who represents this ward, Lois Tarkanian, joins me now. Councilwoman, thanks for being here. Happy summer.
To be here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Good, good. You know Ward 1 so well, like the back of your hand. Your staffers do too, but for those that aren't as familiar, we're going to show them the map here so you can orient yourself here a little bit. It encompasses a little of the downtown. We're going to talk about that here in the very first part of the show, but it really stretches from downtown Las Vegas really all the way out to the northwest, kind of following, kind of following US 95 to the south, but then turning and making that turn up to the north there too, all the way over to Buffalo, all the way up to Cheyenne.
To Cheyenne, yes.
Councilwoman, are we going to be doing any redistricting down the road here? Again, I know the idea is to try to keep the wards all about the same number of people in each ward. Is that coming up again? Are we going to be discussing
It hasn't been mentioned yet. It probably would be up to the mayor and our CMO about that. I believe that Ward 6 is already past the numbers. You're only supposed to have a certain amount above all the others, and they have grown so rapidly. I think they're above the rest of us.
Again, obviously, a sign the economy is improving because things are starting to grow again. So,
I'm assuming the other wards out there are too.
So we'll keep everybody posted on all that. But Councilman, we mentioned that your ward encompasses a portion of the downtown. You've got the Premium Outlet Mall. The medical district is in Ward 1. And we have a new way for people to get around downtown.
Right,
and
a good way.
Yeah, the downtown loop. So we
And guess what? A freeway.
It is a big point. That's a key point. Exactly.
That's a key point.
Right. A freeway. We put this on Facebook here at the city. We're getting ready to launch the downtown loop. You'll be able to start cruising through downtown Las Vegas in it on Tuesday. Of course, that was on the 27th of June. It's been running since then. A lot of wonderful response. People really like the idea of this ride. Gail posted, great idea, thanks. Sue said, yay. And Norman posted, cool, love downtown. And Christoph said, hey, very nice bus. So good stuff all the way around. So the idea here is that this loop runs about every 20 minutes through the downtown area. There are two buses, actually two running at any given time. The hours vary. It runs later on the weekend than it does on the weekdays, but that's the route right there. That's where all the places it'll stop, including Mob Museum and Premium Outlet Mall is one of those places, Councilman, that's in your ward. Exactly.
Right, and we have a lot of seniors who like to shop, and I think it's going to give them a chance. They can have maybe a bus that RTC provides for them and drop them off downtown. Then they can take the downtown bus, follow the loop, maybe go to the Premium Outlet, maybe then go to a casino for lunch. Then they like to gamble a little, and it gives them a variety there.
Yeah, it's and this is the day we launched it. Of course, the mayor is there, and we had a little bit of fanfare to launch the loop that day. But that's what the bus looks like, and of course, former Mayor Oscar Goodman that was there too. But if you see that cruising around out there, know, folks, that it is a free ride that, of course, we christened it too.
Well, we should.
That was a real bottle of champagne, by the way. So
it was a real bottle?
It was.
Oh, my.
So it made a little bit of a mess, but no worries. No one was worse for the wear.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a valuable thing, I think.
Yep.
More and more I talk with people, particularly the people in their 20s, early 30s, they're liking going downtown more and more to some of the restaurants, and so they'll like that loop because they can go from here and then go someplace else. And
not worry about parking your car, moving your car. You can come into the downtown. A great place to park is that the Downtown Transportation Center. Leave your car there. Leave your car really at the mall, at the Premium Outlet Mall. Jump on the loop.
Wherever you want.
Wherever you want to go after that, and then go back and get your car later on.
And the loop will take you back.
Exactly right, exactly. You can visit our website, lasvegasnevada.gov, for the times. It varies. Like I say, it runs later on the weekends than it does during the weekdays, but it runs every day, 7 days a week. So cool. We got to check that off our list. We got the loop.
Yeah, we had really good.
And then, Councilwoman, you and the mayor, speaking to the mayor, you guys had a coffee with the mayor in your ward back on June 29th. These are always really well attended, kind of a casual, informal way for people to come, chat with you about issues in your ward or just what's going on in the city.
That's right. And of course, the mayor is always an attraction. We had a very fine attendance, and I think she was kept busy the whole time answering questions. Oh, they put a lei on each of us, too, by the way, because this restaurant, the Cinnamon Restaurant, has Hawaiian background. It's only 2 in the United States. I think one's in California and one's here. And here's somebody coming to ask us a question, and the mayor meets with each person, and I think she does a great job answering, and I try to do.
You do too. You do too.
I try, yeah. Because this brings the government closer to the people, and that's what we need to do. I think one of the big problems we have nowadays is that it's so far away from the people, they don't feel they're part of it. And when they feel they're part of it, they understand problems better, and then they also can help where needed.
Well, that's always been your position on the council, is that inclusion with people in the community. If you want to solve a problem, it takes everybody being involved. You've always had that philosophy.
I do.
And we've tried to be accessible here at the city too, Councilwoman. Shows like this one and Coffee with the Mayor, events like that, to try to make it to where we're available to people in all kinds of locations, times of the day, and different settings, to make it convenient and easy
letting
for
people know what's available. I saw something recently on the Springs Preserve showing what's available there for children to see. My gosh, they have an astronaut thing now. And you can get into it and you'll shake as if you're leaving the ground. And they're also supposed to tell you how to urinate there. I don't know how they're working that one out. But and then they give you a cookie and it crumbles. And you know, they find out that you can't eat your cookie like this because it'll crumble.
It'll float around the cabin.
That's right, in little pieces too, I guess.
Not good.
So,
not good.
But I hear about that, and I hear about all the other things we're doing at Lorenzi and other places downtown. I just think it's very, very important that people get to know. Understand the resources that are available. Don't complain until you see what the resources are and help that you can get.
Exactly. We try to put ourselves out there, that is for sure.
We do.
And then, Councilwoman, hard to believe it's time to talk about this, but we're already planning in your ward the next back-to-school fair and movie in the park event for July 28th. That's just coming right up here. So sorry, kids.
Well, there's the good news.
There's the movie, Finding Dory, and this is going to be July 28th, starting at 7 o'clock in the evening over at Essex Circle Park. That's 600 Essex Drive. But, you know, along with that, we'll also be handing out backpacks and getting kids ready to get ready to head back to school.
And we're going to have hot dogs and popcorn and water as long as it lasts. We're going to have a fun summer little picnic there as we watch the film. So bring a blanket or chairs or something, and I think we can have a good time. I saw this film already, and I loved it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
It's the sequel to Finding Nemo. This one is Finding Dory. And so the idea being that, this is what happens in the next chapter of the story, if you're into that. So.
We don't know who we'll find next.
Exactly. And Ellen DeGeneres, again, is the voice of Dory. And, of course, who else could play the part? So you've got to have it. Well, Councilwoman, we've got a full show today. We've got a couple of guests coming on. We're going to talk about some very, very important topics coming up. So we're going to take a break right here. I'm going to tell everybody out there we need to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll update you on the new rules for short-term rental properties in the city. That's next, so stay with us.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
Welcome back. Property owners who want to rent their homes in the city will have to stick to some new regulations just passed by our city council. With us today to talk about these new rules is Mary McElhone, our business licensing manager for the city of Las Vegas. And Councilwoman, I know you are very happy to have Mary on this show because you and your ward have kind of been at the cutting edge of this whole issue.
Right.
Short-term rentals have often turned into party houses, especially in your ward.
Absolutely, and explosive party houses, right.
It's been a real problem. The issue is this. On the one hand, you've got people who say, hey, it's my house, it's my property, I should be able to rent it if I want to. The other side of the coin is what you're seeing in your ward, where party houses, basically businesses, operate in a residential area, and the two don't mix. So, Mary, thanks so much for being on the show. You have been the go-to person on this issue all along. Help us understand. Basically, the council on June 21st passed an ordinance, and what does that ordinance do? What does it say in essence?
Well, basically, it gives us some more regulations in our new ordinances to try to control the short-term rentals that will be in the city. Also gives our neighbors, the people living in those communities, a voice as well. So what the city has done is that all short-term rentals now require a special use permit. So that means it now has to go before Planning Commission, and it has to be voted upon for proper zoning to allow it into that neighborhood. When that process is happening, notification cards are sent to the neighbors.
Yeah, everybody will know.
Everybody will know, and the neighbors will have an opportunity to have a voice at Planning Commission, whether they are okay with the short-term rental there or whether they're not. There is only one exception.
And go into that, Mary.
Okay.
There's an exception to the rule that you don't need the special use permit, and that is what?
That is if you have a 3-bedroom or less home and it's owner occupied.
Meaning you live there.
Meaning you live there. Thinking about the more traditional bed and breakfast. So the owner is actually on site and it is not within 660 feet of another short-term rental, then you don't need the special use permit.
You can
you just need that business license.
You could have your bed and breakfast or be on Airbnb if you wanted to. Again, but that's the exception. Owner occupied, you got to live in the house, it's got to be 3 bedrooms or less.
That's correct.
I think, Councilwoman, the idea behind that, and I think you supported this all along, is that if the owner's there, the chances of it getting completely out of control like we've seen
Right.
Are much diminished. The
Right.
owner's not going to let his own
Them
home
destroy
or her
their
home-
house
yeah,
or
exactly,
anything
yeah.
like
Keep
that.
them up all night, too.
And you know, there were also some people that Bob Beers had mentioned in Sun City that they have an extra bedroom or two and they're seniors and they don't have much money coming in and it gives them a little extra income. As long as they live there and they're residing there when the people come and use the bedrooms.
Yeah, that's what Mary's point is here.
Right.
That's
Right.
Now, Mary, explain the special use permit process. Again, you have to come before the Planning Commission, but if someone wants to apply for a special use permit, what do they do? How do they go about doing that?
And there's actually a link on the City of Las Vegas website, and you, when you get into our city website, you can click on planning, and there's a way that you can actually file all of your information online, and you can even pay online. And one of the things that you have an opportunity to do is set up a pre-application conference. So you can actually talk to a planner, have a meeting beforehand, go over where your address is, where you're located, what are the opportunities. Is there another short-term rental within 660 feet? Because that will require a waiver along with the special use permit. And not having too many short-term rentals in a neighborhood has been a real concern for a lot of people.
Yeah. Mary, touch on that a little bit. You've been at the city for a while, as I have. We've never really had this issue until the last few years. All of a sudden, this has become worse and worse of a problem, especially where the councilwoman has seen, where we've seen these party houses where people renting a house out, they'll come in for a bachelor party and they will go nonstop for several days. What's changed? What's changed over the years where we didn't seem to have this issue and now all of a sudden it's so common, not just here but around the country?
I think short-term rentals, going to somebody's residence to spend your vacation is becoming extremely popular. There's about 14 different hosting sites on the internet right now. And I think people just look at it as a better way to vacation, especially if you're with a family or a large group of people. And it is nice, as long as you're not disturbing the neighbors, it can be a very nice setup. And you can bring in your own food, you can save some money, especially if you have a couple families that really want to be together rather than in separate hotel rooms.
You mentioned too that before we went on the air that this has become an issue around the country, that cities across the country are kind of struggling with this right now.
Right, there's quite a few, and we're seeing a lot more cities where they're either banning it or they're enacting ordinances to try to control it. Most of those, there's quite a few in California. Newport Beach has gotten involved, San Diego, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach.
Anaheim.
Anaheim has banned it altogether.
Disneyland, home of Disneyland.
The
yeah,
home of
yeah,
Disneyland.
yeah.
And what they've done is they've now given the short-term rental business, they have a period of time, they gave them roughly 18 months to get out of the business.
Wow.
So they have a time certain that they have to stop utilizing the short-term rentals.
I think that's been the issue, and Councilwoman has said this. In essence, the reason it's a problem is that you're running a business in a residential neighborhood is kind of what it comes down
Well,
to.
this is what the people say, the families that have come to me. Look, you have zoning in the city. This is zoned residential.
Right.
It's not zoned business. So how can you let that business come in here when you won't let other businesses come in here?
You won't let somebody operate a barbershop out of their house or a beauty salon or something like that. But why are we allowing this?
And they say, why are you changing your zoning? And then the reason why they wanted it at SUP was because they said even if you put a shed up, you have to get an SUP from the city if you're going to build a new shed and get approval. So why wouldn't you have to get that if you're going to do a short-term rental? And I think that's been one of the problems. And I'm sorry that, some people who do a good job get hurt in this, but my feeling has been that these are people that bought their homes decades ago, and they've put in all their time and all their effort to build up the neighborhood. That's why these short-term rentals love to come to certain parts of my ward because it's near the strip and it's beautiful. They have big yards, they've taken care of them.
Yeah, the vegetation is mature.
They've worked on the medians, and and that's what I think I said at the meeting. These are people who have worked hard to do this, so you can't just say, oh, you want to come for a vacation, you can, and take that big chance. And even if, let's say, that they don't have a party house. Also is the transiency of it all, because families know when different people are coming in, and you don't know them the way you know your neighbors. Now, are there some renters that rent for 2 or 3 years that aren't, might be dangerous? Yes, but also you're sort of pulling your luck to have it every weekend. They were worried about that.
And that's what the council ultimately decided. It was a tough vote. It was 4-3, but the council voted 4-3 to change the ordinance as Mary's described. Mary, what else? Now, one of the issues I know that we've had is getting the word to the city that there's a problem somewhere. And what are we doing to try to make that a little easier for people if they have a complaint or if they want to contact someone about maybe a party house that's going on in their neighborhood?
So one of the big things that we're working on is the 24-hour hotline. One of the problems that we have is that right now a lot of these parties are going on, or the disturbances are going on, and it's on a Friday night or Saturday night, and we just don't have, we're off. We just don't have staff out there. So they call Metro, and then Metro would love to respond, but if there's a shooting, there's a lot of other priorities, and so that call for the party house kind of falls to the bottom of the list for that evening. So what we're doing is we're working with Metro, where they're giving us a list on Monday morning of all the disturbances, all the calls that they received, and we're starting to monitor those. But the biggest thing that we're doing is we need the neighbors to be our eyes and ears, really. If we need to give them a quick ability to contact us so that we can respond. So we're working on a 24/7-hour hotline. And so hopefully that'll be in place by the end of July, and we'll get that number out there, and then people will be able to call, and the calls will be screened by a live person, and then hopefully we can send somebody out immediately so we can actually address the problem when it's happening.
Mary, we only have a minute or so left, so anything else you want to add, something that's germane to this discussion you want to make sure that we let the viewers know?
The new ordinance, we are giving people 2 years, so the people who are licensed right now who need a special use permit, nobody was grandfathered in. And so they have 2 years from July 1st of 2017 to obtain that special use permit. The other thing is that we have a lot of short-term rentals that are actually not owned by the landowner, not licensed by the landowner, I should say. And so sometimes these landowners don't even know they've rented it to someone else long-term, who's now turned it into a short-term rental. So they're going to have 2 years to get a license.
Yeah, it's kind of a subletting.
It's subletting situation, exactly.
Not good if you don't know about that near the owner. So
I'd just like to say that Mary and everybody in that office, that licensing office, did a tremendous job.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The research they did. Anybody who feels that we are now becoming experts in short-term rentals, they have done a great job. They've shared that information with us. It's been wonderful.
All right. Well, Mary, great job. Great to have you on the show, and great work here too. So Councilwoman, as promised, we said we were going to have another guest on, so we need to take another quick break. But when we return, new trash and recycle bins are rolling out on the streets of Las Vegas. We'll explain why when we come back right after this.
Our family is no less than any other family.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Welcome back. Republic Services is making some big changes to the way your trash and recycling are being picked up. And with us today to talk about these changes in service is Tim Outman from Republic Services. Tim, so great to have you on the show with us today.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman, too. Now, Councilwoman's already got her new bins at her place.
Yeah, I do.
But for residents of the city of Las Vegas, it's going to be the same for all of us. Not really new. Henderson, North Las Vegas, parts of the county, they're already done this, but now in the city, we're getting there too.
Yeah,
It's new for us.
Yeah, so we're excited to roll out launch the new program here in the city of Las Vegas. And one of the goals, priorities of Republic is to make it simple to do business with us, and we think this program accomplishes just that.
Super. Now, Councilwoman, you've already launched out. You've got the new bins at your house now.
Right.
So how are you liking it?
I'm liking it fine. I like the idea that I can throw all my recyclables in one place.
Instead of the 3 bins, it's just one big one now.
Yeah, just one big one. And also, other members of my family kept mixing things up, and then I'd get upset because so this way, it's very hard to mix things up. So it just goes in one place. It's very good, and it holds a lot.
Good, good.
Holds
So
a lot.
Tim, for those that aren't familiar with the program, walk us through the changes. What's going to be taking place?
Yeah. So the hallmark of the new program is the all-in-one single-stream recycling that the Councilwoman was just referring to. And so the program works like this. We'll deliver a new trash, a little roll-away trash cart, roll-away recycling cart to each home, and we'll service each one of those one time per week. And then every other week, we'll provide what we call bulk item service. So anything that can't fit into that cart, whether it's a piece of furniture that you can't repurpose, couch, a mattress, whatever, anything that can't fit in the cart, we'll pick that up on an every other week basis.
Super, super. And then, and Tim, now you're rolling this out in phases to the city residents. Is that how this is working?
Yeah, that's right. We got going right away, but there's a lot of homes to work through. So we have a goal that we've set with City Council to be done by the end of next year. So over the next 18 months,
Okay.
We'll be working on that. If things go well, we'll finish a little earlier than that.
And now, how will people be notified, Tim? How do they know if my neighborhood is next in this whole process?
Yeah, so what we'll do about 3 weeks ahead of time, we'll mail a little postcard to each home and say, hey, your new carts are coming, right? And so they know what to look for. And then on the day that the carts arrive, we'll have a little packet, implementation or information packet for people. And there's a welcome letter in there. There's a little trifold brochure that's easy to reference, kind of useful tips and things like that. And then the bulk pickup item calendar as well, so they'll know which day is.
And it's very clear. I just want to say, I just took it as, how you need to do it, and it's very clear in that letter. So don't anybody throw away the letter, because it really helps you when you get started.
And good point, Councilwoman. And Tim, the bins will just be left in front of the house?
Front of the house.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they can grab and again, I agree, if they could look through the
Probably
packet,
be helpful.
That would be helpful,
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Look at the information.
Yes.
And so, Tim, the darker bin is for trash.
Yep.
And the lighter bin is for the recycling.
Yeah. So we have a little sample here at the front of the table, and then what we've done is, again, from a customer education standpoint, we have a label on the front that kind of shows what can go in it.
Exactly.
And your Amazon shipping box and things like that, your traditional recyclables, and then a few examples of what we don't want in it. So like food waste, what we don't want is kind of a half-used bottle of ketchup getting in there, and then it contaminates the rest of the recyclables.
Gotcha. Tim, now there are different sizes of bins, or does everybody get one size, or how does that work?
Yeah, we do have different sizes. So what we do, based on pretty vast experience throughout the valley, we have a pretty good idea of what community should get what size bin. And so we start off with delivering what we think. And then if the customer wants a different size, thinks that they need a different size, we have a 35-gallon bin, a 65-gallon bin, that are a little less than the 95, which we typically initially deliver. So we ask that they use it for 30 days and try it
out, yeah.
just to make sure. And but if they do need a smaller size, then we'll switch it out.
Yeah, so it's the biggest 95. That's what pretty much everybody's going to get.
Most of the valley has
and then
that.
it's 65.
Then 65, and the smallest is 35.
35. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Tim, it's exciting. So 18 months to roll out across the city. What have you heard in the other communities around the valley? I'm taking it that obviously people are really liking this.
They do. They again, from the kind of simple solution standpoint, the carts are easy to roll. All-in-one recycling. It's easy for customers to recycle. So what we see is a vast increase in the amount of recycling that's collected. Typically, 400+% increase in recycling.
Wow.
From the old program to the new program. Satisfaction rates are 90%. So lots of great feedback.
Tim, and that's really the goal here at the end of the day, is to increase the amount of recycling within the community. Give us some perspective. How are we doing overall, and what would you like to see us achieve here?
Well, we're just getting started with the city. So the pilot programs that we had in place now for some period of time performed really well. It's interesting. It fits perfectly into all the sustainability efforts that the city has.
That's our middle name around here. Yeah,
that's amazing, right? So it really kind of fits right into and continues to tell that great story that the city's been telling now for some time.
Wow. Well, Tim, we're starting to run tight on time here, but is there anything else you want to add? Make sure that the viewers out there are aware of.
Yeah, just a couple quick things. So if you need more information in addition to the packet, feel free to call our office at 702-735-5151. That number's on the brochure as well. We do have a mobile app that we've launched, and you can see your service schedule on there. And you can, if you want to do some remodeling at your home, like one of those large construction dumpsters, you can order that on there, set up payment preferences. So there's a lot else that you can do through the mobile app.
Good.
And I would just like to say that we have not had a high percentage of individuals recycling in Vegas. And each year we're trying to make an improvement, which Republic's trying to do. This is part of a program to try and get more recycling. It makes it so easy. So no one has an excuse not to recycle.
Well, and Councilwoman, that's always been the thing. Convenience makes people participate, and it couldn't get much more convenient than this. You just put the recycling here, and they're going to come get it once a week. That's pretty easy. Whereas currently, it's every other week, and you've got the separated bins, and you got to remember, is this my recycle day?
Right. I mean, for example, you keep your newspaper separate, you kept your bottles separate, as you said.
Right.
And sometimes that got complicated. Some people were in a hurry; they didn't care enough. But boy, now all you do is take one box and put it in that, and then outside, and there you are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, great job. Really appreciate you being on the show. Good luck. Thanks for rolling this out to the city of Las Vegas. We're happy to be getting it. I can tell you in my own household, my family, my wife specifically, is really ready for this. So.
Yes, she's wondering why you guys haven't gotten out.
Yes, I did get that. So a follow-up note, but appreciate having me on the show.
No worries. Thank
I
you,
think
Tim.
I was
Great job.
closer to the center of the city, so they're probably going up that
I'm
way.
sure that's very methodical, and it's coming. I know it's coming to our neighborhood too. So, well, great job, everybody. I want to tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Tarkanian, maybe be part of our next social media segment, you can find her on Facebook. You can also contact her the old-fashioned way. Just pick up the telephone. She's at 702-229-6405, or send her an email. Her address is ltarkanian@lasvegasnevada.gov. Councilwoman, great job today. We'll see you back in 6 weeks. Good to see you, as always.
Another one finished.
Jim, thank you for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
You have to give us an
much.
update on as this thing rolls out, maybe starts to conclude toward the end when it's all rolled out. So,
Sounds great.
Great job today.
Good.
See you next time around.
Okay,
we want to thank you all for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on July 13th with Councilman Bob Coffin. Don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.